Senator Dianne Feinstein responded to the fact that she has progressive primary challengers, including Justice Democrat Allison Hartson. Let's see what she had to say.
You're up for re-election next year, and this week, Allison Hartson, who is a 37-year-old Bernie Sanders supporter, announced that she's going to enter the race. You're already facing a challenge from State Senate President Kevin DeLeon. Their argument is that you haven't held President Trump accountable and that you're part of the problem in Washington. How do you respond?
Well, I respond that there's a certain degree of unfairness in that. I'm well aware of the president's deficits. I'm also well aware of the fact of what I said. And what I said was in a Commonwealth speech, and parts of it were excised from the speech. But what I said, I hope in these months he can learn and end up being a good president. I don't think, and that was catastrophic for some people in my state. Everybody sees what the flaws in this president are. There's no question about it. And that's why this trip right now going on, I think, is worthy so much attention. Can he actually stay on script? I watched his remarks in Japan with respect to the military that were receiving him, and I thought he did a good job. He stayed on script. It's when he goes off script. It's when he tweets. It's where he has to attack everybody if he feels even slightly aggrieved. And his comment that the only one that matters is me. He isn't the only one that matters. He's the one that's there to solve problems on behalf of the United States. And that's what this trip is about. And I hope and trust he sticks to that mission.
Senator Dianne Feinstein, always good to have you here. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
I had to watch that like 3 times over and over and over because I thought, there's no way she's making it this easy for us. That's your argument? Well, you know, Trump, sure. I mean, there's problems with him, but the problem is when he goes off script. When he stays on script, not bad, but when he goes off script, that's... Dianne, thank you for making our case for us. I don't care about any script when it comes to Trump. I care about his policies. Dianne, he signed a bill that had literally a 6% favorability rating among the American people. That guts internet privacy rights. Now when you put your information into a website, they're legally allowed to sell that information to whoever they want. They used to have to get your approval. Trump signed that bill. Donald Trump has been signing executive orders that gut regulations across the country. I mean, coal companies are now legally allowed to pollute the waterways. He pushed a healthcare bill that had a 12% approval rating. He's signing executive orders that are kicking 1 million more people off of their health insurance, raising premiums by minimum 20%. The guy is a wrecking ball. He's increasing wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. He's threatening war with North Korea. The problem with Donald Trump it's his policies. It's everything he's doing to destroy the middle class. On his first day as president, did you know he raised taxes on the middle class? He got rid of a popular tax break that applies to first-time home buyers. What happened? I thought you were going to look out for the middle class and fight for the forgotten man, Donald. He didn't do that. He's stabbing them in the back. He packed his administration full of Goldman Sachs officials. He spoke about draining the swamp. He is the swamp. He's making the White House swamp thing. It is more swampy than it's ever been at its swampiest. He's rigging the system more in favor of the rich, taking us to more wars. He's appointing people like Scott Pruitt to lead the EPA. This is a guy who doesn't believe in climate science, who's gutting regulations, who's putting ExxonMobil and big oil people, fossil fuel people, in positions to regulate those companies at the EPA. The EPA basically doesn't even exist anymore. And you think our problem with Donald Trump is that he goes off script? You think that's the problem with Trump, is he's off script and not on script? I don't care if he was on the best script ever. He's still destroying the country. And by the way, you're going right along with him. Why? Dianne Feinstein has voted with Donald Trump a third of the time. A Democratic senator from one of the most liberal states in the United States of America voting with Donald Trump a third of the time. I have a question for you guys. Who's more conservative, Dianne Feinstein or Joe Manchin? I'm having a hard time figuring out. Because guess what? Dianne Feinstein voted for the Iraq War. which of course killed minimum 200,000 civilians, will cost $7 trillion when all is said and done. And that's money that could be used for Medicare for all or free college here. Oh, except there's only one problem. She doesn't support Medicare for all, and she doesn't support free college. So she'd rather do offensive wars, kill minimum 200,000 civilians, break the Middle East, lead to the rise of ISIS, than make sure your kid gets educated and you don't have to go bankrupt in the process. She voted for the Bush tax cuts. She's for the death penalty, which, by the way, a recent study showed that 4% of people on death row in the U.S. are innocent, but she's for the death penalty. She's in favor of CIA drone strikes. In fact, she went after Obama when Obama said, hey, maybe the CIA shouldn't do them because there's zero accountability. Maybe it should be the Department of Defense, if anybody, that does them, because there's a really high civilian death rate when the CIA does them. She went to bat for the CIA and said, no, I think they should be able to do it. I didn't even know this until recently. She voted for CAFTA and permanent normal trade relations with China. So she's in favor of outsourcing everybody's decent job. She has been a disaster. She's not progressive. She's nowhere near progressive. She voted, in the year 2000, she voted yes on phasing out the estate tax. And by the way, she's taken a tremendous amount of money from corporate PACs. So, Diane, this is our problem with you. And our problem with Trump is not that he's off script. Our problem with Trump, it's his policies. And that's our problem with you too. Which is why Allison Hartson is going to defeat you. Dianne Feinstein has been in the Senate forever. She's been a politician forever. She is the swamp. Allison Hartson has been busy teaching people. She was a teacher. And then after that, she worked on Wolfpack and successfully got the resolution passed in many states. So she's been fighting to get money out of politics for 5 years. Allison Hartson takes no corporate PAC money. She's for Medicare for all. She's for free college. She's for a living wage. She's for ending the wars. So we are going to destroy you because guess what? The voters agree with us. They don't agree with you, Diane. The voters agree with us that Trump is a disaster because of his policies, not just because he goes off script from time to time. What a sad, sad answer. And I can tell, Diane, you're going to make this pretty easy for us. And by the way, if you want to donate to all the Justice Democrats, go to justicedemocrats.com/fight to do that. So when you make a donation there, it gets split up between all of the Justice Democrats. We have 30 Justice Democrats running. Many of them running against corporate Democrats, many of them running against Republicans, and they're unopposed. But we're going after everybody. And if you want to donate directly to Allison, if you want to go directly to her, go to AllisonHartson.com. That's ALISONHARTSON. And you can scroll to the bottom of the page and you can donate there. Remember, we need you because we're not taking any big money. We're raising a lot of money from a large number of people in small donations, Bernie Sanders style. And this is one of the many reasons why we're going to defeat Dianne Feinstein.